What's going on, Beyonders? Today we're going to be going over something that is extremely critical if you plan to be a part of the GCW leaderboards like we talked about in the last video. So starting off here, what we're going to be talking about today is the War IntelPad. Now everyone has their own little name for it. Some call it the God Pad, some call it just the War Pad, some call it the IntelPad. But it has quite a few uses. We're going to go into it, but what I wanted to start off is, where do you get it? So I'm here on Corellia. Let's hop out of it. I'll include this waypoint down in the description of the video. I'm talking to a Corellia Times vendor, and the schematic for the War IntelPad costs 65 meat lumps. You need to be an engineering trader to craft this. So if you are neither a engineering trader or you don't have 65 meat lumps, those are both something that you can find somebody on the server to do. There's plenty of channels in our Discord that people are more than willing to help out. But you do need 65 meat lumps, and you do need to have a droid engineer or engineering trader. So after you've acquired your schematic, we're going to go through the crafting process, make this a quick video, and I appreciate you guys watching. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've opened up my generic item, general item crafting tool that also falls within the weapon droid category. I've clicked into the miscellaneous category up here in the left, and I've scrolled down to the category marked item. It's the last thing in here. So if we double click on it, we can move into it. You can see that we need 20 units of chemical, we need 30 units of steel, we need 25 units of extrusive ore, and we need 3 electronics GP modules and 1 electronics memory module. Those are all droid engineer subcomponents right here. Those any droid engineer can make, and again, quality does not matter for anything in here whatsoever. It's more about just getting it. So we're going to go ahead and assemble it. Next, call it the War IntelPad, and we're going to create the object. It does have a 48-second craft time, so as soon as that's done, we'll go over some of the uses of the War IntelPad. Okay, so now we're going to go over some uses of the Warpad itself. So some of you might have already noticed, if you're a new player, if you're an older player, you have a war terminal that you get as part of the reward system. Now, the Warpad does very similar things. So the Warpad and the war terminal are essentially the same thing, but the war terminal does more. You just can't use it from your inventory. So if we just go ahead and we use the war terminal, it will tell us all of the stats from every planet. So we have Corellia, Dantooine, Locke, Naboo, Rory, all of them. It'll tell us how many bases, how many total player bases, how many Imperials, how many Rebels. It'll tell us what the static bases are. It's Imperial on this one, it's Imperial on this one, and it's Imperial on this one. So all 3 static bases are Imperial at the time of making this video. Then you would know where to go from there. The Warpad will do the same thing if you go over to GCW and report, but it will only do your current planet. So it's something that you can have with you, but if you're at your house, you'll then know where to go. You can right click your Warpad, go over to GCW and go to factional presence, and it will tell you anywhere in the galaxy that there is someone that is currently special forces, meaning they can be attacked by another player of the opposite faction, and they are in a region, not in a structure. You know, there's some place that they can be found. So there is an Imperial in Naboo, and there's an Imperial in Coronet. So you can see all that from there. The other thing you can do is you can sign up for battlefields. It takes a second for it to once you request the update. So now you can see that there's no one queued for anything at the moment, but you could see anyone who's queued for battlefields at that point. You can also see what your personal contribution has been and who's the region defender of each region in the galaxy. But the main ones that we're going to be looking at today and the most useful are the factional presence, so you know where they're at, and the GCW leaderboard. So at the time of making this video, on the Imperial side, we have the top 3 as Soren, Psycho, and Axva. And all of this is going to be based off of a percentage and or a number. It's subject to change. But this will tell you what position you're in. You can see I'm all the way down here in 20th position. I haven't done a whole lot this week. But this will tell you where you rank. Now, if we go in and we try and go, okay, I want to see who the rebels are, it'll give us a little message saying you can use this again in 33 seconds. So there is a cooldown on the IntelPad. And the reason for this is we don't want to overload the server by requesting, you know, all of the different leaderboards all at once. It has the tendency to make things not work. So just giving it a little cooldown is our way of making sure that everything stays consistent. So after we wait our full 30 seconds after that, let's see where we're at again. I want to see who's on the rebel side. Got 8 seconds left. And this goes for any and all of these ones. You have to wait the cooldown in between them all. So let's check rebel now, and we can see the rebel side is here. I don't have any rebel tunes that currently can participate, and I'm in the process of swapping one over. But that is how we use the war IntelPad. The war terminal, if we radial it, does much the same thing. It also has the same cooldowns. You can see factional presence, you can see everything else. What's more useful is just the fact that you can see all of the different planets from it, so you can see which bases need to be flipped and where there's the most players. With all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the video. I do appreciate it. Most of you probably already knew about the war IntelPad. Hopefully you learned something, and for those of you that didn't and are looking forward to participating in the GCW leaderboards, welcome, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun. If you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comments down below. Feel free to DM any staff member, especially me. I'd love to answer any questions. Ask anything on social media. I'll be responding to any comments, any posts made towards any of the SWG pages. So thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful day. Catch you in the next one.